So when I found out I was having twins, my first reaction was, oh shit, what the hell am I going to do? How am I going to manage these two kids? It was a great pregnancy. I mean, I was on bed rest for most of the time, but when they were born, it was like, it was just incredible. I remember we were in the hospital, and we were told to keep them in two separate cots, and she bawled all night. And the minute I took her home and put her in the same cot as her brother, she was quiet. And it was really, really sweet to see. When they were growing up, they used to play, and it was really, it was a wonderful thing to see. And then, of course, we got Veer's diagnosis, and they were developing at slightly different rates and in different ways. And I think from the beginning, both Mohit and I were very conscious of the fact that because they are twins, they have to have separate time with us, and we have to have separate time with each one. So we would do lots of special days, and if one we would make one bunk school when they were really little, and the other one would go to school, and we'd spend time with that kid and stuff like that. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff. And then when Veer's diagnosis happened, it was, of course, there was a lot of stress in the house. It was very, very difficult. And I think the one thing that I'm very, very proud of us as parents for is that through that, we still kept that balance between the two. It's not easy for a lot of people. It's not at all easy, but we did it. We managed to do it. We made sure that Veer and Gayatri got enough attention for a lot of the time. Having said that, there were sometimes when Veer's needs really took precedence over Gayatri's. Sometimes kids with autism, for them, certain routines are fixed. Certain things have to be in a certain way. And initially, of course, now fortunately Veer has learned to be very flexible because we've taught him to be that way. But initially, if like something was changed, so for example, if they were eating from a blue plate and a green plate, and Veer had always eaten from the green plate, if I gave Gayatri the green plate, there would be a huge meltdown. And having to deal with that took a lot of my energy, it took a lot of time, and Gayatri would then be left by herself. And I remember this one incident very clearly. We had gone to Dubai to see my sister who lived there. We had gone to IKEA, and IKEA is, I think, an autistic child's nightmare. As much as it is my dream, it is really an autistic child's nightmare, because there's big lights, it's huge, it's never ending, there's lots of noise, those tube lights and stuff like that. And he had, I think, after 2 hours of shopping, I don't know how he managed to sustain for 2 hours, but he had just lost it and had the mother of all meltdowns. And he cried and cried and cried and cried. And remember, in the car, we were trying to pacify him. And then went back home. I was really irritated because my shopping was left halfway. We were trying to calm him down, this, that, it was just really crazy. And Gayatri just sat down. She was very quiet. And I sat with her and I told her, I said, are you okay? And she said, and she was crying. And she said, I wish he'd never been born. And I said, oh my God, it's very hard to hear that. It's very, very hard. And so I said, I just didn't know what to say. I just held her. I just held on to her and I said, it's okay, you can cry. And I couldn't be angry with her for that. At the same time, I couldn't be angry with him because I knew what he was dealing with. So it was really hard. I think at some point of time after that, we had been going on about twin and stuff like that. And after some time, one day I don't know, something, she was complaining about him. And I said, you know what? Think of him as your younger brother. And that is when one tube light went off in her head, because it was just like, wow, okay, he's my younger brother. And so I have to protect him, I have to look after him, and I have to kind of take care of him. And since then, it's not that they don't fight, they still fight, they still argue, but she has really emerged as his biggest protector. She is his best friend. He makes fun of her. They have a very, very kind of normal relationship as siblings. They tease each other, they irritate each other, they fight. He talks to her things which I want her to tell him. I'll say, just ask him now if he's okay, and kind of get this information out of him. So it's really sweet. It's really cute. They're very close. She's written a book of poems, and she's written this amazing poem on him called The Blue Boy, where she's written about him. And she's really like his. Sometimes I'll get angry with him and she'll say, Mama, now stop, huh? He's not done anything. Now, why are you getting angry with him? Just let him be. So she'll stand up for him. And he's really been a huge influence on her life. She's going off to college. She wants to study psychology, and she says, maybe I want to do research in autism. And I'm like, okay, fine. Where is this coming from? But I know where it's coming from. So he's been a huge influence on her life. And she says that I would not want anything any other way, because he is my brother. And he's impacted her life so hugely, as he has all of ours. So she really wouldn't have it any other way.